Without further ado, I'd like you to please welcome our Congresswoman, 36th District, Janice Hahn.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, Tara O'Brien, for that wonderful introduction. Thanks to you and all the Board of Directors of the Torrance Chamber for all the hard work you do all the time in advocating for businesses in the Torrance, and of course to the dynamic Donna, the President and CEO of the Torrance Chamber. You've done such a good job certainly pulling this event off, and all the work you do is quite impressive, and you have time to bake bread on the side. I don't know about you, but that was an amazing lunch. Thank you to the DoubleTree staff. Thank you to the chef, the servers. That little pumpkin soup in the beginning was unbelievable. I saw that in a magazine just last week, and here we were having it. Thank you very, very much. It's great sitting here at the table next to your wonderful Mayor, Scotto. Nice to see you here. It's nice to have the two council members here, Pat Fury and Bill Sutherland, and all the others, electeds who are here, those who serve electeds. Thank you for being here today. It's, you know, I came to many of these when Congresswoman Harmon gave her State of the Region, so it's quite a thrill for me to stand up here as your newly elected Congresswoman and give this really tradition that the Torrance Chamber has in the State of the Region. So it's great to be here. You know, first of all, I'll just say, I love my job. I love being in Congress. It's certainly, times can get pretty crazy back there. I was trying to explain my schedule to those who are sitting with me at lunch. But it is a great job. It is a great time in this country. I think it's a historic time in this country. The challenges are huge. But I really appreciate being in Congress, and I really appreciate representing the city of Torrance and those cities in the 36th Congressional District. I really enjoy what I'm doing. I'm coming home every weekend, so I'm racking up those frequent flyer miles. But I want to do that because I think it's important. It's important for all those who are in Washington, D.C. to stay in touch with their constituents. I've only been there a couple of months, but I can see how easy it is to be disconnected from the rest of the country and from the rest of real people who work day in and day out, trying to make ends meet, trying to make a payroll, trying to make their cities and communities better. It is easy to be disconnected. And so I am planning, and so far I've done it, coming home every weekend to listen to you, to talk to you, and to stay in touch. I want to be the kind of representative that at least knows what you're thinking and at least knows what your priorities are so that I can serve you better. I'm just going to talk a few minutes today about what I think we need to do to rebuild America's competitiveness and get this economy back on track. You know, any time in Washington that you're spending right now, everybody is talking about jobs. Everyone's talking about job creators. And I'll tell you, it feels very good to be in a room full of real job creators. And I want to give yourselves a hand. You really are the backbone of this nation's strength. Your ideas, your grit, your determination help drive our American economy. And American business people like you, it's you that makes this country great. It really is, and I am more aware of that than ever. You know, we're in tough times right now, and I know I don't have to tell you that, but America is facing difficult times. We've come through difficult times. We're not out of it yet, and I believe we're going to face difficult times in the future. Unemployment continues to be around 9% nationally. It's about 12% here in California. Consumer demand is down. Confidence in the future of the economy has reached all-time lows. Add in that an uncertain stock market, and you have the ingredients for a daunting business climate. But whatever challenges we face, the United States is still the home of the greatest entrepreneurs, innovators, and business people in the world. You know, Ronald Reagan once said, "There are no great limits to growth, because there are no limits to human intelligence, imagination, and wonder." And today, I believe it's time to invest in the future. I know we have a deficit in this country. I know our spending got out of control, and we need to, in Congress, every day work on reducing that deficit, and every day we need to talk about our spending habits. But I do believe there are things we should invest in as well to get us and this economy back up and running. The three things I think we ought to be paying attention to are our infrastructure, one that's worthy of the 21st century. I believe, as I know you do here in Torrance, we need to continue to invest so that we can provide world-class education for everyone. And I believe we need to unleash the full innovative potential of American businesses. You know, the infrastructure is crumbling. It's a mess. And it's time to put people back to work building this infrastructure, one that is worthy of the 21st century. You know, President Eisenhower is the one that created our interstate highway system, and he linked this nation in ways that never before happened. But that was over 50 years ago. Today, we're relying on transportation and energy systems designed to support the America of half a century ago. Anyone who drives on our freeways knows how our old transportation infrastructure bogs down the pace of business. Time in traffic isn't just maddening, it makes it more costly to distribute goods and services. A truck idling on the 405 with your goods in its trailer represents time lost, increased costs, and investment dollars out the tailpipe. You know, Mayor Scotto came in along with council members Brewer and Fury right after I got elected, and they came in to meet with me and talk about what their vision was for your city and how they wanted me to help them. And we talked about infrastructure, and we talked about how that is something worth investing in. Transportation projects are the future of this city and this region. You know, building modern infrastructure just makes common sense. I think it's time to get serious about funding the metro lines, both the Green Line into the LA International Airport and metro lines that will connect the South Bay with other regions. I think it's time to get serious about high-speed rail and link our area to the talent and markets of Silicon Valley. I'm fighting in Congress for America Fast Forward, and if you don't know what that is, I want us all to fight for that. You know, in Los Angeles County, we had a measure on the ballot. It was Measure R a couple years ago. We passed it by, I think, around 68% of those in the county voted to increase our sales tax. We voted to take more responsibility for our own infrastructure, for our own transportation projects. And we're going to raise through that about $30 billion but we're going to raise it in 30 years. Now, there's a project called 3010, or America Fast Forward. And what I think is a good idea, and I hope you agree, is that we need to convince the federal government to front load our money. We want that $30 billion up front, and then we'll repay the federal government back with that sales tax increase over 30 years. Because front loading it means that we can put 160,000 people to work right now in this region and rebuild the infrastructure, many of the projects that I mentioned earlier. I think that makes sense. That is a partnership. The federal government needs to partner with us. We took it into our own hands to tax ourselves. We wanted to have more control over our future. They need to partner with us. They need to honor that and help us front load this in a way that I think makes more sense. Anytime any of you go back to Washington, D.C., and I've seen some of you back there already, because you lobby on a lot of issues that matter to Torrance. When you're walking the halls of Congress, besides coming to see me, I want you to talk to other Congress members back there and tell them that that makes sense. That is a common sense solution to our problems, to our infrastructure, and to putting people back to work. You know, education is the next place I think it's not time to cut. It's time to invest. You know, the ingenuity of American businesses is the envy of the world. Unfortunately, our nation's elementary and high school public education system is not. However, when I'm in this city, I want to give a shout out to your schools. I would like to see all schools elevated to the level of Torrance Unified. I think you are a model. And Dr. Mannon is here with us today, and I want to thank you for all your hard work. Apparently you have something like a 98% graduation rate. That is something to be applauded. But that is not the case everywhere. We have some of the finest universities, but too many times our high school graduates, if they graduate, are not prepared to take on university coursework. This chamber's participation in Adopt a School is another model program. Your work with the Torrance Education Foundation is a model for how the business community can turn this tide around the country. We want to take what you do here in Torrance and take it on the road. We want every county, every city, every school district to model after what you're doing so that we can begin to catch up to others around the world who are more competitive to us and more advanced in their education. The rest of the industrialized world is building workforces excelling in science, technology, engineering, and math. Let's lead the way on that. You know, we can't out-innovate the competition if we aren't giving the next generation of Americans the skills and training they need to succeed in the global marketplace. Now is not the time to be laying off teachers.